Hey guys, it's John here, and today I'm joined with my brother Andrew.
What's going on, guys?
And today we're gonna talk about and review the Reacher series for Amazon Prime, which at first it was just gonna be just me. It was gonna be a solo review for Wildman Beyond. This is a paid request for Wildman Beyond, but my brother he got into it here. I didn't expect for him to get into the show.
Yeah, well, like you started watching it, and I was like, I'm just gonna, I'll let him watch it, let him do his thing, and then, I was chilling in the living room where he was watching it, but 2, 3 minutes in, I was like, okay, hold up now. I was invested, I was hooked for some reason. I don't know, what was going on, but I was fully invested after like 2, 3 minutes. I'll say that.
Yeah, and um, yeah, it was really cool to watch. And like I said, I at first it was just gonna be just me, and I'm like, since my brother got into it unexpectedly, I
Yeah.
was like, hey, let's do like a tag team, review, a two-man review of the Reacher series. And again, this is for Wild Man Beyond. A shout out to him.
Yeah.
Now, Wild Man Beyond, he's asked me to review some Reacher content lately. For example, the Audible for The Killing Floor, which I have a novel now, thanks to Wild Man Beyond. You've now got me hooked on some Reacher, so I'm working on the Audible right now, and at the same time reading the book. Um,
Now I gotta jump in there. After watching the show, I really want to start reading the books. I mean, how good the show was. I'll say that. I really want to get into the books like you're doing.
yeah, and I think there's like 20, maybe 25 books. I could be wrong, but it's somewhere in
That's
the neighborhood.
that's crazy. That's a lot.
And they've been around for 25 years. And yeah, I watched the two Tom Cruise movies, which I would say the first one is the best one, and that's a really good movie that I think you would like.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that one day. I've never seen it. I've actually even never heard of the Reacher movies or the books until the show came out.
Yeah, and the second one, it's all right. I mean, it's not as great as the first, but it
Mm.
still has some good parts to it. Um, and even when I went to the bookstore last week, I swear they had all of them,
Yeah.
like each Jack Reacher book. And this series is based on the first book, The Killing Floor.
Mm.
So now that we've watched the show, I kind of know what happens ahead of time, but I'm still
Yeah.
enjoying, going through this book here.
I'm kind of surprised that they had all the books at the bookstore because I love going to the bookstore. I've never seen the Reacher books unless they kind of re-release some of them because of the show. Um, but I've never seen any of the books at the store.
Well, I'll like this. This one here, of course, has the show on it, like on for the cover. But
Yeah,
all the other
yeah.
books are have the older covers, I guess, and
Okay, so
they're all
maybe that's
paperback.
why. Maybe that's why I haven't seen them. I just don't. I just didn't recognize the cover or whatever. But I have to look for them now.
But I blame Wildman for that.
Yeah.
So Wildman, thank you for getting me into this character that I never thought I would get into. But to talk about the show, uh, I'll give well, not a synopsis, but kind of real quick with the plot. Jack Reacher, he's a former U.S. military policeman,
Yep.
and he visits this rural town of Margrave, which is fictional.
Yeah.
I thought it
Yeah.
was a real place.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I thought it was a real town, but that's not
I
the
mean,
case.
I guess it could have been. I mean, you never know. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's believable,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
but Jack Reacher becomes embroiled in a violent clash with a brutal criminal conspiracy.
mm,
Because at the beginning he's arrested and framed for this murder, and I don't want to give too much away, but that's kind of the plot in a nutshell here. And again, it's based on The Killing Floor. So,
yeah.
you know, and I this won't be some like in-depth review, but now that we've watched all 8 episodes, what did you think?
Again, not giving anything away, but for me, this has got to be one of my favorite TV shows. Like, no lie, this is seriously one of my favorite TV shows. I think, um, I think the action was perfect. I think the comedy was perfect. I thought that everything kind of balanced out fairly. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was no like too much action, or there wasn't too much comedy. You know what I'm saying? Everything kind of balanced, and I think that's one thing I really loved about the show. Yeah.
And the cast is on point too, because
Yeah.
Alan Richardson.
He did a good job.
Never would you think that Aquaman from Smallville,
So,
years ago, which was his first, his debut, actually. I found that out in an interview he did it on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast.
yeah.
And I know he was in that TV show Blue Mountain State. I did not know he was on American Idol.
He was on American Idol?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
So, yeah, a long time ago, he had a stint on American Idol.
Huh. Really?
And he was Raphael, I think, in the voice and the costume for the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie.
Wow.
And he talked about how, he was treated badly on that movie, and they didn't really get paid well and all that stuff. And that interview's out there.
Actually, I think I seen that interview in my recommended one day when I was scrolling through YouTube. I was like, I didn't look at it. But going back to Smallville, it's actually funny you start talking about Smallville. People can see it on my camera here. I have the Smallville Blu-ray set. I'm a big fan of Smallville. I've rewatched the whole series like 3 or 4 times. So, yeah, seeing Alan Richardson going from Aquaman and Smallville to this ginormous, army vet, in this series was really cool.
And show everybody, I don't know if I can't see you, but share that Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's in the it's in the view, the camera. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things I have in my room.
And how much was that?
$145. I think it's the time I bought it. It was $145. But yeah,
Has it dropped down in
really
price?
cool. Probably not. To be honest with you, it just came out a couple months ago. I think in November. I think so, December. But yeah, this is like I said, Smallville is one of my favorite series of all time, and I've watched it, rewatched it like 3 times. So, yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, I like Smallville too, but yeah, it's funny. I mean, like, because the thing is about the Reacher character, I know there's been some complaints when it comes to the Cruise movies that as far as like matching the description of the character, the persona, there's been some, critiques about Cruise because in the novels, he's described as a guy that is 6'5", he's muscled up and he has that look pretty much.
mm-hmm.
So I thought Alan Richardson did a really good job as Jack Reacher, in terms of character presence. Sometimes he'll throw out a good line of, humor. The fight scenes are shot well. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit. But as far as the casting of Jack Reacher, to me, Alan Richardson, if you're skeptical, I really enjoyed his performance.
Yeah, he was really good. I think, he's what, 6'5" in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's ginormous. I think I haven't seen the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movies, but I guess from watching the show and hearing about the character, I think that he probably played the best. And what do you think about Tom Cruise like as Jack Reacher? Even though I haven't seen any of the movies, and don't give anything away, but do you think he played like a decent Jack Reacher, or is it just like, you think Alan Richardson played a better one?
Oh no, to me he still does a good job in the first movie, and well, both movies he still does a good job, but yeah, like I said, the first movie is definitely the better film. But even by the first movie, Tom Cruise, and I talked about this in my review, that at that time he was already 50. It's like,
Oh, really?
And Jack Reacher is in his 40s, and I mean, and maybe that's a small critique in the grand scheme of things, but Tom Cruise, I still felt he did a good job, but I believe that with this show, you can get more miles out of a guy that is a little bit younger. I think Alan Richardson's only like 40,
Yeah.
But, you can definitely see that, okay, this guy, he could play this character for years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being 40, he looks really good, to be honest with you. Like, for 40, he
Yeah.
looks really good. Yeah. I mean, well, I think when you had told me that we were watching it, I was like, really? 40? Obviously, I wouldn't put him in the low 30s, but I would probably put him in the mid 30s at least. When you said 40, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Ugh.
and then it's like you look at the character and it makes you want to go to the gym.
Yeah, no, you're like, I'm going to get jacked. Yeah, I want to join the army. I want to you do this, do that.
Like he packed on, I've seen interviews where he's talked about he's put on 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's crazy.
And, but yeah, so great casting as far as that goes. And the supporting cast, there's some other actors in here that I haven't really seen much of their stuff. But yeah, the chief detective, this character Finley,
He was a funny guy. I liked him.
yeah, he was good, played by
He was funny.
Malcolm Goodwin. You have the female officer Roscoe,
Mhm.
played by Willa Fitzgerald. I thought she was good.
Yeah.
Um, you also have the mayor in the series. Now, I'm not sure if this guy I've definitely seen before, but I don't know if you've seen him in other stuff. But the mayor in this show is played by Bruce McGill. I remember him from MacGyver. He was
Okay.
Jack Dalton.
Yeah, see, I was going to say something. I've seen him before, but I don't remember exactly where I've seen him from. Maybe it was from that, just seeing MacGyver clips, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it was also in My Cousin Vinny. He was in Time Cop. But yeah, great actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. It was cool to see
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Uh, you have the character Kleiner, this kind of politician character in the series. But the supporting cast, I felt that everybody did a good job acting wise.
Mm.
Yeah,
Again, I think it was kind of perfectly balanced. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like too much of this character or too much of this character. You know what I'm saying? I think it was everything. Was kind of perfectly balanced as it should be.
now, like I said, this won't be like an in-depth review of every episode. But is there any moments that you can talk about that? I guess without giving away stuff.
Yeah, I should have written it down, to be honest, because there was so much, action in each and every episode. I guess without giving anything away, I'll say this. It's funny watching Reacher fight. Every single fight scene, like before he, it's like just absolutely destroys somebody. He just like makes fun of them or cracks a joke, and then he just kicks their asses. That's like the best part of watching the show and the episodes. I'm just like, you laugh, so much before, you watch them beat him up. That was like the best part for me. He was just always cracking a joke or always being smart or something, whatever it was. That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, especially the part I think about the prison scene.
Yeah, yeah. That was. I wish we need to go into like a more spoiler, in-depth review, maybe another video. But yeah, there was a lot. I'll say that there was a lot of good and really funny fight scenes.
And if I understand, like, that's part of the character that he'll drop a wisecrack
Yeah,
or a line
yeah,
before he takes somebody out.
yeah.
And the fight scenes, like I said, they're well shot. It's not sporadic or all over the place like
Hmm.
you've seen in recent years. And I'm kind of glad that that I don't know how you feel about action scenes like in general. Do you feel that they've gotten better in recent years where they've now you can be able to see what's happening?
I think over the years, I would say it's probably gotten a little worse. And I'll say this: I like action scenes to be close, semi-close to realistic. You know what I'm saying? I don't like scenes to be like totally fiction. You know what I'm saying? Fighting styles are just unrealistic, or I'm saying, full-on CGI fights. I like it when it's more realistic. You know what I'm saying? I guess when it's just like that, I like it a little more.
Kind of like
But I think
I was about to say, kind of like John Wick style.
yeah, John Wick and, you know what I'm saying, this Reacher show, you know what I'm saying, when it's more realistic, you know what I'm saying, it's a military type of fighting or some type of, you know, kung fu, karate, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. I like it when it's realistic and not full on CGI fights or a Michael Bay movie, you know what I'm saying. I like it, you know, when it's more kind of realistic is what I'll say. Yeah.
Like you could tell they took the time with the choreography and
Yeah.
yeah, the fights are brutal. And even like a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
the shootouts. I'll talk about one scene
Yeah.
because people are posting clips on YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
the scene where the guy is sneaking to the house,
Okay, yeah. That was good. That was a good little
and
scene.
then Reacher has to clean house.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you want to go into more in depth to that scene, do you want to go into more, you know, in depth to what happened in that
Well, I
scene?
mean, he takes him out, so I mean, it's
Okay.
one by one.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna like, I'll say this. Doesn't really spoil it. I mean, you kind of just said something, but there was one scene where this guy is following like Reacher's shoe prints, and Reacher gets out of his shoes and sneaks behind the guy, and I think breaks his neck. I mean, which is like one of the funniest scenes. Like it's like I think it was Wizard of Oz or whatever. His shoes are just sitting there. He's just like, what? And then he gets his neck snapped. It was a funny moment for me.
And then even like okay, like if you want to talk about the last episode, I mean, you know, it definitely really kicks into third gear when you get to the final, like the last 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, the warehouse scene.
And that's
Um,
and I was gonna say like you know that's kind of been the first 7 episodes. You know, you get some good action here, some great moments with the characters, some great storytelling, some good lines, some cool moments, but it's all a build up.
yeah. And I'll say this about the finale. I really like the finale. Don't get me wrong, but a part of me felt like, you know, or I guess a part of me was kind of disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I knew that he was going to leave the town. You know what I'm saying? Most likely. But I don't know. Something about the warehouse scene just didn't. I don't know. It didn't click. I don't know what to exactly say here, but you know what I'm saying. I thought that something else was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like there was much fighting scenes in the warehouse. You know what I'm saying it was more of just shooting guns and say making traps and I don't know. I mean, it was good finale. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like it was. I was expecting something more. I'm not sure exactly.
Well, it's funny
But
you say that because I was getting ready to mention that. Like I enjoyed the finale in the warehouse. You know, them. Okay, now they're finally getting to the bad guys here.
yeah,
But I think some of the CG fire kind of like, okay, I understand it's an Amazon series.
yeah, it was like a little rough.
Yeah, and maybe I would have liked the villain to get it more like comeuppance.
Yeah, yeah,
And maybe that's some people might say, well, that came from the book, and they really want to go from the book, and you know if that's the case, okay, I understand. But you know, I kind of expected a little bit more with the villain's comeuppance.
yeah. It was kind of like you found out who the villain was in like episode 7, and then he, you know, it ended kind of in episode 8. So it's like. You know what I'm saying? I wish we would have found out more about him in like episode 4 or 5, and then kind of let up. Is you know what you're saying?
Yeah, and there's a good mystery element to these episodes, like up
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you know the final one. You know, so it keeps you invested enough, like with the conspiracy, the mystery.
Like who's involved?
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
you know, there's some turns that it takes that you didn't expect or see coming.
yeah,
But yeah, the finale. I mean, I did like it. And like I said, I mean, some good shootouts. But you know, like you said, maybe you kind of expect a little bit more. You know, from the villain's comeuppance. Like, you know, okay, it's fine, it's serviceable, but like it could have been more.
yeah. It felt like I don't know exactly. Maybe I should have thought about it and you know wrote it down or whatever. But it felt like the fire was too much. I'll say that the fire was too much. It was too distracting.
But you understand why they did it. I understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't know if I guess for me it just kind of took away the I guess realistic. You know what I'm saying, or you know, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it again, but I don't know. It was good, but to me it wasn't great. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like I could take it, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done something more.
And it's like, you're getting ready to say how, you expect him by the end to leave town because he's off to his next adventure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it ends. I mean, whether they're going to go with the second book or not, time will tell. But, I mean, also, there's some good use of music throughout the series, a little bit of blues, that type of vibe.
Yeah.
I like the small town setting. What'd you feel about that?
Yeah, it was actually that's a really good point. It's funny in the first episode, I hate giving so much away, but he gets released from jail, and that whole town is kind of like, hey, we know you got released, from jail for murder, and they're all like staring at him. Some people are trying to threaten him. Some people are trying to, scare him, and some people are trying to fight him. So I think that was really cool, like seeing, just this low town kind of focus on him. You know what I'm saying, and like, have their all their focus, on him. So that was really cool.
And as the show goes on a little bit, he actually goes to different locations, like New York.
Yeah.
And I think some other locations, but, so they kind of explored that Reacher, he's kind of to unfold this mystery. He has to go from place to place. So that was kind of cool too. But so is there any like overall thoughts or?
I mean, I think we've gone over most of it. To kind of go back a little bit, what you were saying a minute ago, wondering if they were going with the second book or not. I haven't read the second book or even the first book, but I think, and I hope that they'll go with just a different story. Maybe not the second book. That way they kind of mix it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that way people won't know exactly what's going to happen. I think maybe they'll go with like just another, like a few books down or something, or maybe a whole different story. I like when movies and TV shows kind of merge with their books, but I like it when they kind of make a different story of their own. Is what I'll say. I kind of hope that for season 2 that they maybe stay close to the books, but kind of have a few new details and things about them.
And that's kind of what I was just thinking about too. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things in this first season that they had to leave out that you'll find here.
Yeah, probably a lot more detail and whatnot.
And I think with the second book, the only thing that I've heard about it, and this is very little knowledge here, that in the second book he gets kidnapped.
Oh, really?
So that's just as bad as all I know about that. But I will say, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed the series, and it definitely feels like a throwback.
Yeah. Another thing, I wish. I'm not crazy about TV shows, TV series being like an 8-episode limited series. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wish they were just a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? It feels like some of my favorite shows are limited. You know what I'm saying? 8 to 10 episodes, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? They get the job done, but I just wish they could be longer. That's another thing. That's just one of my only complaints about it. I just wish it was longer.
Yeah, and I hope that. And I actually thought about making a separate video about this. That I just hope that Amazon will follow through and really get behind, the Reacher show, give it a chance, let it breathe. Yeah. Don't just say, like, don't give it a couple of seasons and, we're going to give it the axe because we're losing viewers or what have you. Sometimes you got to let stuff grow. You got to let, shows grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think probably what will happen is maybe after they, Prime, make season 2, they'll probably take a break and then probably get bought out by Netflix or bought by another network. That's what usually happens with some series. They'll be bought out by another network and then continue it on from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to. I mean, it'd be cool if at some point Netflix will pick it up, but that's time will tell with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of like a guess, but never know.
But yeah, and like I said, this definitely feels like a throwback to something you would see 20, 30 years ago, where you have a great character that, takes out everybody, asks questions later.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Um,
good lines,
yeah.
good setting. Is there anything you want to add?
I mean, I don't know. I think that's it. I mean, what would you rate this show? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I'll give it a 9.
Yeah, I would give it a 9 or 9.5. It was really one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and I really mean that. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't like too much.
It leaves you wanting more.
Yeah. I want more. Yeah, I want to see another season. But like I said, it was really like everything to me felt balanced. You know what I'm saying? Comedy, the action, drama, the relationships between each characters. Everything just felt balanced, and that was one of my favorite things about the show.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend it to
Yeah,
everybody out there.
it's really good.
But I think that's it for now. Just wanted to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Wildman Beyond for the request,
Yep.
and we will see you later.
See you guys.